Good morning, everyone. I'm on my way to Merritt, BC for work. I've got some horses I'm working on today, and then I'm off to West Kelowna for a meditation retreat that I go to a few times every year. So I'm looking forward to that. As for riding, I am definitely thinking about riding, which is actually pretty exciting. As many of you know, I went through shoulder surgery a little over a year ago, and it was a major shoulder surgery. I had a massive rotator cuff tear, so they had to repair or reattach all the backside of my shoulder, and the surgeon said it'd be about a year to heal, and it's definitely been at least a year. I mean, it's continually getting better, but last year I was actually kind of trying to come to terms with the fact that I might have to retire. I've been here at this place many times in my life, but the fact that my shoulder wasn't getting a lot better faster, I was thinking, you know, what am I going to do here? I've got, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? There's lots of activities I want to do with my shoulder, and if my shoulder's not good enough, then I'm like, to jeopardize wrecking it again even further, it was like, it wasn't worth it to me. But then, lo and behold, 8 months came up and it started getting stronger, and it's, it keeps getting stronger. So I'm very grateful for that. I don't know the extent I'm planning on rodeoing this year. I definitely am planning on going the end of April, so that's about a month from now, to Williams Lake. It's indoor rodeo. It's just our BC Rodeo Association. So I'll crack back out there. That aside, I just wanted to comment on, I had seen a video post from Shannon Timberman the other day, and I don't know if any of you know who she is. She's Kelly Timberman's wife. They're both awesome, amazing people, and it just, what Shannon said, like, really resonated with me. And it was like talking about not comparing yourself to somebody else. And in a sense, it was, you know, referring to being true to yourself too, and keeping it real, which I've learned over the years, and in the last few years in particular. I mean, I've been sharing with my friends and my fans and stuff that, you know, I'm mentally not good all the time. Like, I go through rough stuff. I struggle. I don't think that highly of myself. So I actually do have tattooed on my arm to remind me, although I'm not always reminded. It's this arm here. It says, I will always be true to myself, my family, and my friends. I say that order, but, you know, some of my good friends are like family. So, but in all honesty, you can't be happy unless you're happy yourself, and following your heart, and being true to yourself, you know. For me, that's like, it means listening to my intuition. The more I listen to my intuition, the more things come clearly, things rolling, and I feel better about myself. It's just like everything falls into place. But when things aren't going good, I mean, like this fall, I got into a rut again. I was struggling mentally. I typically do in the wintertime. I mean, I suffer from seasonal affective disorder, as well as, I guess, cabin fever. I mean, I got other stuff going on, honestly. Like, I have had a lot of traumatic things happen to me in the past. You know, a lot of the stuff I've blocked out and not dealt with, you know, and I've done counseling and stuff over the years, and I'm continually working on growing and, you know, bettering myself. I was down in Arizona long ago, and I did post about that, how I was like mentally struggling the whole time I was there, and you know, it seemed like everything was bombarding me at every angle about like how I wasn't good enough, and like, I'm like 40 years 40 years in my life. I'm like halfway through my life. I'm like, what do I have to show for it? And it was just, you know, a bunch of, you know, just insecurities, inadequacies. Like, what's the point of being here? I mean, I was like, that's where I was. I mean, I wasn't the lowest of the low I've ever been, but I certainly was, that that was second closest. And for the fact that I believe in past lives, and I feel like my past lives have affected me in this life. I know everyone doesn't necessarily agree with that or believe that. I don't know if I agree with that, but believe it. I do, and in terms of like, looking at like what's the point of being here? I don't want to be here. I just like, I kind of like, I would look at the easy way out. Like honestly, I would probably look at points in time and ending my life, which is awful to think that, but what stopped me is knowing that I'd have to go and repeat this over again. So I mean, that's what's worked for me to stay here and be here. And people don't realize what you're going through, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what, even if other people have gone through it. No one can go through, especially like what you're going through. They can't be in your head. They don't know. They can't understand. I mean, they can try to understand, but you don't know unless you experience it. And I just want all of you to know that I went from my lowest of my low, well, not lowest low, second lowest to my low, to honestly, I'm the best I've ever been. And it turned around super fast. And for me, I was back doing things that I knew would help me sort of clear some of my past baggage, following the stuff that my intuition was telling me to do, like listening and just acting on things. When things like keep popping up in your head and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, and you like brush them off. Those things, or like when something is right or wrong, or like, you got that gut feeling, like always listen to it. Always go for it. I mean, it doesn't steer you wrong. It's like when your head gets in the way and it starts like telling you reasons why you're not good enough or why it should be this, so you're trying to like justify things and be logical about things. I mean, that's when you start your clarity like goes away. Hi everybody. So for me, being happier is like, dealing with my past, like letting stuff go. Like, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for my past. So even doesn't matter how shitty your past is, you're not going to be the person you are today if it wasn't for that, if you didn't have to experience that. I mean, any obstacles, any roadblocks, anything you come into makes you a stronger person and allows you to grow and evolve and change. And it's actually really cool. I mean, you can always, no matter how bad things are, you can always find the good in it. And for me, there's so many tools I've had to learn to deal with depression, to overcome it. And I'm sure all of you know things that could make you feel better. I mean, I'm just talking about depression in particular, but there's always tools in your bag that can help you deal with it, with what you're going through. There's people you can talk to. There's people you can confide in. I mean, for me, the worst thing is just keeping it all to myself and not sharing it with people, right? I mean, you're not always looking for a solution, but the fact that you can like talk to somebody and somebody listen to you, I mean, that's huge when you're going through a rough time. And so anyways, this is my first video. And I just want you all to know that you're not alone, and I'm here if you ever need anything. And thank you for Shannon for doing that, because I am now starting and I'm stepping on a limb, and I'm gonna continue to do these things. So have an awesome weekend, y'all, and we will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye.